mean, was the full application was not on the website? Is this, understanding that I wasn't, aware that was the case?
I believe and I'm looking right now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have the information available, the original application?
I believe I sent it, yeah, so I'm not, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how to, if it's open on my phone, cause I don't usually do it on my phone. I couldn't open it.
I think the application submitted in June.
Yeah, I found that one. Oh, maybe. It's got the application attached.
So this is in June?
This is what's posted at the public hearing.
Oh, with the public hearing. Okay. All right, so it doesn't have the supplemental, the exhibits, the noise study, was that ever posted? Nope.
That should have been on the.
While we're looking at that, did you have any questions for the applicants or their attorney or attorney? Did you leave already? See, this is why I can't sit here, cause I can't see that he leave. I was gonna say, I know he had another meeting to go to. And I don't know if you have questions. Questions for.
Who had another meeting? I'm sorry.
The applicant's attorney had another.
Oh, okay.
meeting to go
I did not
to.
realize
I don't know if
he's no
you
longer
have
here.
any questions for the applicants since they're here about. Obviously, there's information that was brought up by the public in the hearing that we're looking into is not only just the availability of documents on the website, but also the other information that you brought up as far as, the traffic, the EAF, all of your concerns. Obviously, we wanna look into that. So I don't know if the board members have any questions for the applicants since you're here.
So I would like to ask you, about the proposed hours of operation that you were looking to modify. So you're already, I highlighted it somewhere and I can't remember. You're currently 6 in the morning until, what time?
Those are the summer hours, I believe.
Yep, oh, that's right, cause you have the summer hours and then the, modified hours that begin, I think in November, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I have it here somewhere. Alright, so if you could address because that hasn't been talked about much yet, Jason. What?
Yeah, we're just, in the ready mix business, where we want to do it in the morning, takes a while to set up.
You gotta stand
Yeah,
up.
No
So,
shine here.
we're just, trying to start, our guys show up and get there and there's complaints and we're trying to eliminate a lot of complaints because even without the plant running, noises being made, it's not really, I look at it a different way, it's not considered operation because the plant's not operating, but guys showing up, starting trucks, letting them warm up, stuff like that, causes, issues and complaints to the town. Looking to do away with a lot of that. I know Mr. Marsden probably, he reaches out to us a lot to see what's going on. We gotta check back in with him, we supply him with any information he's looking to get. In the ready mix industry, everybody wants to pour early, first thing in the morning, especially this time of year, it's really cold. It takes a while for concrete to set up to finish, so guys don't wanna be there 7, 8, 9, 10 at night. So starting earlier, getting the product to them sooner, helps them achieve that.
Okay, so in the winter months, you're saying would be better earlier
Well,
because?
winter, yes, earlier, so they can have time to work the concrete and finish it. In the summer months, to beat the heat, the sun, so it doesn't settle too fast on them. No one really wants to pour in 90-degree weather, so, you know, there's a lot of variables for starting earlier.
Alright,
I can't find the winter hours and the summer hours.
The
You know what
winter,
the times?
the winter hours, November through March, Monday through Friday are 7 AM to 4 PM. Saturday, 7 AM to 1 PM, closed on Sundays. During the, I guess the summer, April to October, Monday through Friday, 6 AM to 6 PM. So there's just the hour difference in the hour difference in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. Saturday, 6 AM to 2 PM in the summer, as opposed to 7 AM to 1 PM in the winter, and still closed on Sundays. So now they would be starting at 7 instead of 6, and shutting down at 4.
You just said that wrong. You said now they'll be starting at 7 instead
Right.
of 6.
I think,
They'll be starting at 6 instead of 7.
No, in November, their hours are
They have to
shortened
switch,
Okay.
shorten.
from 7 AM to 4 PM. Prior to that, they were 6 AM to 6 PM. Now they're shortened 1
And
hour
he's
later in
looking
the
for
morning.
amendment to, what are the times for the amendment? 6 to 6, 6 to 4, the winter
it
hours?
says, dusk till dawn or something like that.
5 AM.
The other way around. Dawn till dusk. I don't even.
I have 5 AM to 9.
Yeah, 5 AM to 9 PM and then 5 AM to 5 PM on Saturday.
Still closed on Sundays.
And you're proposing that for year round, that there isn't this change from,
Yeah, just think it'd be easier to maintain and monitor and, you know. pretty much,
So you wanna run trucks
Not that we'd be running like that, but I want it just open to that.
till
so
9
that-
o'clock at night? during the winter?
That don't happen, I mean, but it's just eliminates any complaints coming in all around the way I look at it.
Mike, when you shut the plant down at 6 o'clock, if that truck's going to Syracuse, it's not gonna be back before 9 o'clock.
This was happening
That's
when we do a
what,
later
that's what it
delivery.
really boils down to.
They come
That
back
truck
to
goes
us.
out on delivery at 6 o'clock, it doesn't have, it's common that it's gonna come back. But like he says, that's not the majority of the trucks or something, that's that late delivery that you send out that will, just to keep the complaints down, it will be that late if it's going to Syracuse. I'm just gonna do that.
It's not really hours of operation, it's just trucks returning.
well,
Is there something the trucks have to do, like when they come back, that
Yeah,
they're
they
still
gotta
operating?
go up to the washout pit and, wash out the drum.
Okay,
you know,
so there is still
they rev 'em up a
operations
little
once
bit.
they
The plant
return.
itself isn't batching or running, but there's, you know, activity going on there.
so I assume, for, other plants that do not have operational hours of that nature, they do not deliver after a certain point because they know it's gonna be too late
Yeah,
in order for the return trip.
we rarely like batch even during peak hours after 4, it just seems like, you know, by then, 'cause everybody starts so early, or guys that they're not running after, you know, batching concrete later in the day. Sometimes maybe you'll get behind or someone comes short on a load, but it's not often that we don't ever schedule deliveries to go out, let's say past really 4:30 or 5.
Okay,
But, you know, in this line of work, sometimes people get behind, things happen, so. Somebody runs short on concrete, then order enough, gotta come back and, you know, they gotta need it to finish.
Can we ask a question?
of Mr. Simmons,
Yeah, I don't care.
go ahead.
With your DOT, they only have a 10-hour track and then they have to be off the clock. So how many drivers do you have that would be able to
We have-
swing shift that?
We have plenty of drivers to run, we operate inside the regulations.
So what's the number plenty mean? 5, 10?
I mean, do I have to go in with my employees and drivers with you? Is this some sort of?
No,
No,
the
we
question
do
was more
not.
like
Thank
the
you for,
DOT,
that's fine, that's
all.
fine, thank
This
you.
isn't DOT
He's not gonna
meeting, so.
Okay,
No, I
that's
just
fine.
wondered.
That's, so it seems like a big difference in time to me, especially with the 9 PM.
Oh, it is, but it's not, like, I'm just trying to open it up because there's a lot, as you know, being part of the town and stuff, all the things that come in nonstop that have been for a couple of years. I
Right.
look at it as a way to eliminate a lot of that, cause you know, I see and hear and read some of the stuff and half of it I don't think is true. I know it's not true, it's not that I think, but it's just certain people just have problems, you know. I've tried going above and beyond, I've tried being decent, but no one wants to, you know, I've opened up for people to come and it's just constant complaints and jumping through hoops.
Okay, so Jason, I think there'd be something that's reasonable,
Yeah.
that's saying can operate till a very late period of time, therefore any noises I make are part of operations. I understand your motivation with that, but I think that there's also somewhere that's a reasonable,
Right.
place for this. And I'm not sure how comfortable I feel, with some of those times that you're, proposing myself. So, I did look up Roselli's, hours of operation. I think they're closed on Saturday and Sunday and
They're closed Sundays,
And-
they run Saturdays.
7 to 5. I'm not saying it has to be exactly the same, but,
Right.
but I think there's something that's, perhaps a
The morning time thing-
mitigation here
The
that,
morning times are more important to me than, you know, the 9 o'clock at night time.
and that's, with the idea of warming your trucks up and things of that
Well,
nature.
yeah, just everything, you know, we get things going.
And so he's not
You
in
know,
the
I tried
neighborhood
keeping
either.
our water boiler off last year, you know, cause of this.
Alright,
humming
and
noise and-
the water boiler is needed in the winter time?
Yes, and I turned it off and it broke $2,000 in plumbing I had to fix, just, you know, by trying to keep noise down.
And will
Which
that
isn't
be
really a-
part of the enclosed area? Will that include the water boiler?
Well, the boiler is partially enclosed now, it's part of the plant, so I mean,
For the enclosure plan, does that, and the, noise dampening materials that you'll have? Because that would partly take care of that issue.
well, the noise is the exhaust of it, so that's not technically gonna be enclosed,
Okay.
so I'm not, you know,
Alright.
sit there and say that would change.
Was there any cement poured?
Excuse me.
Then your footprint, was there any cement poured
For,
for your new silo area and stuff?
we have a pad there. We've had it there like, you know, a while. It's just, you know, we utilize it for other things too, to put our cubes on and whatnot around there. It's just a concrete pad.
How long's it been there?
Few months,
Approximately.
2 months at least. We poured it, you know, a while ago.
Madam Chair, can I just, have just 1 second? Just 1 second. I live on 51A, and with the current hours right now, at 6 o'clock in the summer, those trucks are going by our house.
Okay,
Okay, so I just wanna say
thank you.
that's how that currently is.
Alright.
Did you see your neighbor, Debbie Ann Page, post on Facebook?
I did not.
Want me to read it to you?
Uh,
I just wanted to share Circle T Enterprises LLC Ready Mix Division. Make my kids' day. The drivers are so friendly. My kids wait out for the bus and they stand there and motion the drivers to beep, and all the drivers do with friendly smile and wave. We live 2 places down from them and have never complained.
yeah.
So your drivers are pretty nice.
Yeah, no, actually, I wasn't aware of her name, but I do remember someone bringing that to my attention. It's nice to see, you know, we talked to, I think, 2 of the neighbors to the, south of us and, you know, one told me, Doug and our neighbors right next door, they're all real great, you know, we asked them to drink, you know, try to be good neighbors, you know, they've actually taken the time to talk to us or, you know, outside of here, so.
I also wanna just make it clear that, the concrete they're talking about, we poured that swale that they're talking about, trying to keep that water from going out in the road, that's concrete, we did that. we poured some pads, like you get, like they're saying, but it's not structure. We haven't done anything to the structure, it's laying on the ground, as they all know, because they know the pads.
We stopped.
All been laying on the ground,
Tomorrow's in,
and we're waiting until we get permitted to erect it. So we'll-
You know, I asked them, she said, you know, don't do nothing until you go to the board here, and that's what we did.
Okay.
So.
Alright, thank you, I appreciate that clarification. Alright, now can we talk about the, truck, travel, and you've been, doing this for a year and a half, or how long you've been operational?
2 years.
With 2 years, with, the road, the trucks going, south, we did intend that there would be, your competitors or other people who are, driving similar large, commercial trucks, the concrete trucks, would not be going down the smaller roads, North on Darrow and, Silver Mills and the other smaller, Lily Marsh, Stone, kind of thing. If there's local deliveries, of course, it makes sense that anybody can go down there. Your Amazon truck, we certainly already know that the snow removal trucks do go down these roads to remove snow, and they're not small vehicles. But it's the idea of, the business having a significant number of vehicles that are gonna be doing that. So, honestly, I do not know what level of other traffic is taking place. But the signs are there for a reason, and so I guess I would like to have a compelling reason, that, again, this is, your business, and it is on a, residential road, and just trying to get it so that it fits in the community, that we're not gonna have,
Well, a couple things.
more
is-
issues that aren't needed.
That was said earlier, about me having signs taken down. I've never asked or spoke
Okay.
to anybody on taking any signs
Yeah,
down, so I don't
alright.
know where that came from. Secondly, we look at, not just competitors, but there's, other trucks, dump trucks, big trucks that go that way. We're not just looking to open that up and say, alright, let's send everything that way. It's just more of a convenience. It's less wear and tear on just the south end of the road. You're sending some down there. Everybody's always saying the road's gonna wear out. Haven't seen that happen. It's just, why should we run around a big circle if we gotta go, down even into, so I understand that Silver Mills, has areas that are restricted. I mean, there's a small bridge and all those. We're not looking to go use those roads just to use them, but there's a convenience factor and, that comes into place for doing it. Once again, we've been accused of other times, even pickup trucks of ours, like regular pickup trucks, complaints coming in about them going down the road. There was never anything stated about a Circle T
I
pickup truck.
don't know how others feel, but I just stated that I'm of the opinion that if, somebody, has a regular pickup truck, drive anywhere you wanna go. This is
We've had complaints on
a
that.
free country, and,
That's not what the
meetings ago.
condition says.
no, excuse me, please,
They don't have
that
the-
is unreasonable in my opinion. You're not gonna be penalized because you happen to be an employee of Circle T, that you can't go out
And you have a
on
pickup
lunch
truck.
in a pickup truck and go.
They're not the ones we complained about though.
Oh,
They
okay.
were the ones with their logo on them and towing the
If it is a
thing.
regular, excuse me, I don't wanna have a debate, Linda. But if there, to me, there's reasonable restrictions on commercial vehicles. And again, anyone else want to?
You are the
speak?
one that wrote it in there.
Okay, well, there you go. And then there's also, understanding the, what wording
You worded it.
means. And so that if something is said in a way, obviously, there's different interpretations perhaps for that one, way that something is stated. And by New York state law, if there is ambiguity, which it might be with this case, then you actually have to side with the person who owns the property. So, I would venture to say there's ambiguity, in the sense that we did not specify commercial vehicles. I think it is unnecessary to target that if it's a pickup truck, do you own pickup truck
Yeah,
size
we have
vehicles?
a few of them we advertise our business on. And
Okay,
they're
but
just
are they actual,
We have one registered Circle T that's just a F-350 flatbed truck.
Okay, it is a large pickup truck,
Yeah.
but it's certainly not a pickup truck that other people in this room perhaps might also own, that they have a truck of that nature. So, I do not have this, and again, there's others on the board. It's not just my opinion that counts here, but I think that, you should be able to drive a regular sized vehicle, that doesn't need a special driver's license to drive a 350 pickup
Correct.
truck, is that correct?
Yeah.
Then that should be able to travel on Soper Mill Road and everywhere else that would be appropriate. Anyone else? Mike?
I'm in agreement.
I did have
Yeah.
a question, and that might clarify. How many trucks do you run out a day? Like, how many truck runs do you do a
Mixer
day?
trucks, I mean, it varies. I mean, we have, 10 mixer trucks and then a couple pickups.
Okay.
And our mechanic service truck's another one but it's not a cement mixer, it's not a dump truck, it's got a service body on it, so it doesn't need a special license. But I mean,
How many mixer trucks are you running out of there a day?
around 10.
Okay. And just one load?
No, we'll do a couple,
Okay.
2, maybe 3.
Each truck does 2 or 3 loads a day, so you're talking like 20 to 30 loads going out a day.
Yeah.
And you said you had one like work truck?
Yeah, we have a service truck that,
Okay.
the truck gets a flat or breaks a hose, and we have a little flatbed truck that we use just to do any running, maybe some rebar, or just things in general for around the plant.
I got some
Yes, please,
questions, comments.
please.
So, I guess my question is maybe to the city or to the town attorney. In my view, there's a couple different things. I mean, we have a whole bunch of people here saying, I don't want these trucks driving by my house. I get that. I don't live on that road. I live on a little single lane dirt road, and if my neighbors started delivering concrete, I probably wouldn't be real happy about it. But I also hear from the other neighbor, and I wonder if, I'm gonna talk hypothetically for a minute, and then I have some specific legal things, because I think this needs to be dictated by a legal discussion, not an emotional discussion of whether I want trucks driving by my house or not.
Correct.
If things were exactly reversed and all of Circle T's trucks were forced to drive north from the beginning because a judge said that's what was in the agreement, and all the people from the southern end of Darrow Road were here saying, we don't want them coming this way, don't send them this way. I think, most of the people in this room would be here saying the exact opposite of what they're saying now. They'd be saying, no, they should be sharing the wealth. We're getting all of it right now. What about all the people on the southern end of Darrow that have to deal with all of the Circle T traffic, that their road is getting wore and tore and so on and ripped up? And, I'm not saying that I think you should suck it up and take it. I get it that it's a big truck and all that, but there's two sides to this. I mean, you're in the middle. Any truck that goes to the north is going to be one less truck that drives by this gentleman's house.
Yeah.
So why is that more important than somebody else?
It's the condition of the base of the roads underneath it.
Okay, so, excuse me, please, do not just speak out.
Well, you
And if you would like, then maybe you can say, hey, but I do not think that's needed at this time. We have a letter from, Mr. Parkhurst, who said that there has been no evident wear and tear on the roads that Circle T has been traveling on for the last 2 years. So, the roads are built to handle it, except perhaps that curved area that might have water cutting underneath it or something like that. But if you would like to
Yeah,
address
what I
this.
was going to say is, part of the, as you heard from the public hearing, part of the questions and concerns are that there was an original application, you had an agreement that was agreed to, and the applicant, the town attorney at the time, their attorney, an agreement was made that yes, these are the conditions, so that's what they're bringing up, that you've got.
And that was where my legal question
Correct,
went
so you've got
to is,
conditions that were agreed to that they brought up, which is what I've got highlighted here. So there were conditions that were agreed to by both parties, and that's what everyone agreed, this is what would be done. Now they're asking for a change to what they agreed upon. So that's when they're talking about, you agreed to do this, or that's what they're talking about is the conditions that they agreed to a couple of years ago. So now they're asking for changes to these conditions. And part
that's,
of the question is, in order to change these, you need to have a change of circumstances. Something needs to have changed that warrants you requesting a modification of what you already agreed to. So that's why we're trying to find out information, because this is what they agreed to do. So in order to change this, you essentially need to have a real change in circumstances to show, yeah, we need these changes even though we agreed to this because X, Y, and Z. So that's why we're trying to get the information. You guys are raising, I shouldn't say you guys, that's not proper English. But the residents are asking questions, they're raising concerns. So that's why we're trying to find out, hey, this is what they're seeing in regards to what was already agreed to, and then we're trying to find out what is your rationale or justification asking for a modification to something that you already agreed to. Like, what has really changed that warrants you coming back and asking for a change? Because it can't just be, well, now we wanna do something different, because you agreed to this. We need a real reason to show that what the conditions and circumstances were before, when you agreed to this, what has changed since, 2 years ago, what has changed in that time frame that warrants you asking for a change? So that's, I think, what,
so
and
the
I keep
basis
pointing at you
here,
because you're right there. I keep pointing at Linda. So that's what it is. You had something that was agreed to. In order to change this, you need a change of circumstances that make it such that these.
so they're saying their change of circumstances
Correct.
are, I've heard two things. One, increased volume. They're sending more trucks out than they had anticipated. And two, that competitors are able to drive on the road.
Is
that they're
what
not.
Alan just said correct though? I mean, is it,
Well, when we started this was new to us, so we learned a lot from the last couple of years over here. So,
Okay.
you know, we're basing a lot of it off of that, expenses going around and not going like to a Swiggle or, Scriber, Glasgow that way. We have grown some, but, it's, the whole purpose of the silo, everybody says, oh, grow more, it's to store a different type of, Portland material. We can't mix, it's a commercial type DOT mix. We can't afford to drain a silo out, fill it with the DOT mix, so we wanted to be able to keep a DOT type Portland on site. So that necessarily means we're expanding or nothing, it's just to keep another option to
Okay.
produce a different type of cement.
Alright.
For concrete.
thank you for clarifying that. Was my understanding when I visited, that it was to have a different material as an
Right.
option to use. And there was, and some misunderstanding saying this means an expansion,
Yeah,
and
no.
I appreciate you clarifying that.
I forget your name. She's been.
I think
she's
part
had
of
her
the
hand up for a long
angst,
Holly.
yeah,
Holly,
part
sorry.
of the angst is that the amendments to their application that started in June were not available to the public to review, so a lot of this information is new to us tonight. And the second thing, it's not just Circle T trucks going north on Darrow Road that you're gonna allow, it's also Lindsay Aggregates who delivers to the plant, and anybody else who delivers to the plant will also be able to go north on Darrow Road, and that's a hazard.
Or south.
And then he doesn't have control over Lindsay Aggregate drivers.
Lindsay's can go anywhere they want.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
No, they're
that's
not
not
No
supposed
trucks.
to. No
No
trucks.
trucks.
No
You
trucks.
can't deliver,
Local
like, the
deliveries,
other side of
they are
yeah.
local deliveries.
We don't
Why
have
would you go the
jurisdiction
other
If
end
they're
of the road?
delivering to the
That's
concrete
not-
plant,
Okay.
they are
Lindsay's in
local
Montreal
deliveries.
that way.
All right,
That's the other
please,
way.
That's
please.
interesting,
Let's
okay.
have one person speaking at a time, please.
That's good to know.
But as far as the pickup trucks,
It says no trucks going in or leaving their
trucks
site.
doesn't mean pickup trucks.
It says
Said
any,
no
no, it says
vehicles.
any vehicle.
Can we
Can we
we've got
have
two
quiet?
conversations,
Quiet, please.
and maybe,
Pull the plow trucks
maybe
off the
Jason
road.
might be able to clarify.
Yeah.
How many
What you do is you live it up,
deliveries
like I
do
say.
you receive from,
A lot of
what do
that,
you say, like,
Yeah, I
this
forget.
isn't good,
Yeah.
like, how many deliveries do you receive, like, what type of deliveries? Obviously, we know
We
your
get sand
outflow,
and, sand
what
and
is
gravel
your-
brought in.
Okay.
And, you know, that, I counted as many trucks go out, you know, I mean, our Portland, we go down and get our salt, usually a couple times a day with that.
Okay.
You know, it's so hard to pinpoint, you know, we're going to slow season now, we might only get a couple a day, it all depends on when winter starts. The summertime, we could get 20 a day, 30 a day.
You mean deliveries of aggregate?
Yeah,
of
sand,
sand?
yeah.
Okay.
It's a local
20 a
delivery.
day.
And they aren't pickup trucks bringing.
But my whole point is, Lindsay's, they could drive right down that way and go off on 104. They wouldn't do that and come to us, it wouldn't make any sense, but he could load up at his pit, whether it's over on, at the Jarrett pit on 51 or down at his thing, and he can deliver out to the
And
other
it-
side of town.
And again, I think the, intent of our putting up those signs
Let 'em
of,
know that the state's
I'm sorry.
saying a wide load from that end, from the, say, the road, if they say so dangerous, the state, the
Like
state's.
he's mentioning, when we had stuff brought into the plant, the DOT route came in from 104 Soper Mills to that end of Darrow. That was DOT route for our delivery guys. Like,
okay, but
that's something
I'm not
we-
sure if that was, I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
times that you'll get a route on your phone and then you
Yeah.
say that's
But as
really
far as
not the
Lindsay
right
goes,
way to go.
They have no reason to go that way. Everything is south of us, and
All
when
right.
they leave, they're gonna go back to the pit, which is
Yeah.
south of us. But I was just saying, they can go right by the plant and do whatever they want.
Well, yes and no. I mean, so if, clearly we don't have control over other,
Yeah,
everything here, but with the intent of those signs to say,
yeah.
no trucks other than local deliveries, and
Yeah.
certainly if someone has
Yeah.
ordered gravel, then that truck is gonna go
Right.
deliver it to their driveway or whatever.
course.
But, those signs are there for that reason to say, hey, you have a business with large trucks, your folks would understand to come in. Thank you as well for clarifying, because there was some confusion with talking to, Mr. Parkhurst about that sign was on County Route 6.
Yeah.
Right there on the intersection
Yeah.
with Darrow, thank you, that would be the road I couldn't remember, Darrow and 51, that there was a sign saying no trucks other than delivery, and so I can go back and talk to him again, to say, when was that taken down, and
Yeah, I
what
know
was it?
nothing about, like, the signs going up, signs coming down, I didn't know
Okay,
part in that.
alright, and it could have been somebody else
And I don't know if
connected.
that's something the town can just do and dictate, or is that something that's gotta go through DOT and stuff?
From my understanding, we're talking to, Mr. Parkhurst, that is something that we
Yeah.
can, and that was decided with the agreement, with
Mhm.
the approval and the conditions,
Yeah.
that was something that we do have the jurisdiction to do that.
Mhm.
And those other signs are still there. So, so our intent is not to say, your reason for wanting to travel, I understand.
Mhm.
And again, really the question of being the change in circumstance, and it does sound more like it's convenience
Yeah.
and the right that others can do it too, but we wanna almost go to the direction of saying, maybe others cannot do this too unless it's a local delivery. So you do understand, that's where we're
Yeah.
trying to get
It's not
a
like we're
feel.
looking to go that way, and, I mean,
Jason, them signs were not there when we opened up either.
No.
Or
Oh,
we'd be
no.
having this issue right now because it would've been stated there that you can't go north because there's signs that say that these roads aren't for that.
Well-
That was our statement right from the beginning, but our competition's going down these roads, why should we go ahead and only have to go
they're not for
one?
local deliveries, so we've gone by.
Well, I mean, there's no, I mean, people are gonna speed, we don't have
Oh, yeah.
control over that, people are gonna go down roads that we don't know where they're I mean, there's only so much we can do here, and I don't want them going by my house, going 70 miles an hour,
No,
and
no,
that's
what
not
I'm
the speed
saying.
limit.
I'm saying that these signs that say no trucks except for local delivery.
Yeah.
Them signs came up after this situation.
Well, it
Part
was
of the
it
condition.
was conditional with this,
No,
Yes,
that's
they
for,
were.
what you're saying is it's local traffic for everybody now, if it's not local traffic, they can't use the road. That's what you guys are saying.
The
And if,
large
and if that is, and if that is
Delivery
true,
trucks.
them signs came
Talking
out
about what we
after
agreed to,
the
he's
fact
like
of
saying
us opening up.
But-
competition or someone else.
This was part of the conditions, is that we said that we would put these signs up.
I'm not arguing
Yes.
that. I'm
Okay.
saying that they're sitting here saying about the only local deliveries.
Right, right.
That local delivery sign was established after we started.
For
Okay,
us.
so, I'm
Part of
not
the
sure.
conditions.
Let me take a
Is that
quick
the
look, I
sign?
think it's right here, hold on a second.
No, someone said that the sign was taken down, is that the sign you're saying that was taken
Yeah,
down, was
I'm not
the
sure where-
local delivery
You
only?
said it,
So we
right
have-
there with
Yeah,
Mr.
he's-
Caracola.
All right,
You said, you said it confused your drivers, so you had them
I
taken
was
down.
talking about the one exiting our plant, I've never talked to one person
Oh,
about.
it could have been a misunderstanding,
Yeah, there's
quite
a sign
honestly.
I put up ourselves exiting our driveway.
Thank
at the
you
plant.
for,
I don't know nothing about what Mr.
All right.
Marcus has done or DOT.
one
however,
moment again, could you just clarify, so the sign you were talking about
I
was the
had a
one?
sign put in right as you leave our, right behind the mailboxes and stuff there. And
Uh-huh.
I had like a truck with a, cross
Showing it
mark,
was a truck
not going to
entrance.
the right, just to keep guys,
Trucks, no right turns.
right.
And that one was removed?
Yeah, on my property that we put up, yeah.
Oh, that is no longer there.
I don't believe it, no. But I
Okay,
mean, it's just,
thank you.
when we hire people, we go over all this with them, we explain to them.
Okay,
It's one of the main things we do.
okay, thank you.
Karen, the sign we're talking about though, is the one down on the corner of Darrow,
Yes,
Jared, or 51, or whatever they call it, and 6.
yes.
That's gone.
So
That's the
what
one
I
we're talking
believe
about, we're
we
not
have
talking about
just
in your
gotten to the
driveway.
point,
Anything that has-
I
don't know
think
anything about that sign or
we have
DOT.
just figured out that there was a misunderstanding between a communication, between Mr. Parkhurst, Mr.
Yeah.
Simmons, and that sign was removed. But I think I finally feel like a piece
I've
clicked
never
into
called Mr.
place.
Parkhurst and asked him to remove any sign or anything.
Thank you, okay, so that was, because I've spoken
That
to
was
him,
done, that was, and he
and
did it,
now
that was
hearing
out of
this
all
from
his
you.
reasons.
I appreciate the clarification. So, Mr. Torres, the conditions of approval, number 20, it's no truck entrance signs and, other than the local delivery, right, is that the one that I'm looking at, guys, number 20?
Limit signs.
We also talked about a reduced speed limit signs.
Well, it sounds like we need to talk to the highway superintendent and find out
Yes,
about the sign that you're talking about.
yes. And I will talk to him again, and I think my impression from speaking with him is that he was fine with putting up the sign again, and that wasn't a problem, he just was confused. As,
So I know it said, Ben said, where's the sign missing from, which?
we're looking at County Routes, the intersection of 6, Darrow, and 51, that right there. And that would get, for people who are coming in, my understanding from talking to Mr. Parkhurst was that, he was saying that you had said, delivery trucks would be confused and not know to come down Darrow to
Yeah.
your place of business, but
I don't know if that was mentioned by, our operations manager or that, but I didn't have that
Okay,
conversation with
okay.
Parkhurst.
then I think that's important.
But I could see,
distinction.
but if it says local delivery only, then
Yep.
you shouldn't really confuse them.
Correct, that would make sense for a regular person, should be able to figure that one out. Okay, thank you, that is helpful there.
So what do we establish the basis is for them wanting to go the other way? The monetary
Like,
increase in business?
It's, I would quite, again, I'm not gonna look at the increase in business from, I've been operational for 2 months, I mean,
No, that
but-
was his difference, so I wanted to make sure
But
I knew
you're-
what they were.
I think,
we
It
want
was-
clarification of what your change of circumstances are.
Yes,
Like,
that's-
that's what you're
yes.
asking, like,
To drive the other way.
you said, and I think your
So it
attorney
was due to
mentioned that.
cost, is increase of business.
well, I think the silo is where people were saying there's increased business, but he clarified that the silo
No, he's
is,
driving the other way,
Yes.
okay,
like his
Okay,
change
then I'm
of
wrong.
circumstance.
Well, it's the cost too, sometimes it's just going around.
the cost of gas.
We're on the road, I mean, like you said.
It's only like 2 miles more. It's only like, I drove it today, it's only like 2 miles
Adds up,
more.
yes.
Alright, so the cost of the gas, the wear on the road, these are your reasons. The convenience was the one that was predominant
Yeah.
in my mind, and your rationale that others travel there as well.
Right, and that's my question, I know it says open delivery only, but who like holds any other company accountable if they cut down Darrow and they don't have a delivery on it? I mean, there's.
Well, again, that is one of those things that who's monitoring that, I mean, I think it's,
Can I speak for a second?
go ahead.
I'm Russ Christensen, I live on Darrow Road,
Okay,
within 1,000 feet of their plant.
all right, Russ.
I'm not anti-business by any stretch of the imagination. However, the reason to speak to Alan's concern about sharing the wealth, the south end of Darrow Road is far less populous than the northern end, basically from the plant north. That was one of the criteria. Another criteria that was discussed in the initial planning meetings that you weren't privy to because you weren't part of the board, is that there's rental properties down there, a couple of them. Those people had no voice in the matter. And then there was a couple other people down there in the few houses between the plant and 51 and 6 South were pro the plant, which is fine. That's their prerogative. So there's a reason that, a multitude of reasons why we want the traffic to continue going south if it's gonna be on our road at all.
Okay, thank you, Russ. All right. The change in circumstance, then, and thank you, Missy, for, that, so if we're putting this in, a summary, is the cost of gas, so because of the longer distance, the wear on the road, concerns that it be distributed, convenience
Yeah,
for,
it's time too.
you,
Ready mix is a
time.
time sensitive,
Right.
product.
and, others traveling in that direction, other trucks. As far as the, change in circumstances for the change in hours,
Oh, yeah, I mean, when we first got into this, we're new to it, we've learned a lot since then. Our customers want us there earlier, and it's very hard to do, being under time restraints, and it's a fine line of starting up too early and the complaints, so we're looking to open it up to service our customers sooner.
okay,
Can I make another comment?
sure,
I can hear their trucks this time of year with all my windows shut, my heat going, 5:45 in the morning. I can hear backup alarms, I can hear horns, I can hear trucks running back and forth, I can hear tailgates slamming, various things. You know when they come alive in the morning. Do we need to be hearing that at 4:45?
go ahead, Jamie.
These were mutually agreed upon conditions of operation that have not been enforced